Hey guys, what's up? It's your e-girl in crisis, Speedy, and today's video, drumroll, is one of my favorite Batman villains. Now, he didn't start out as one of my favorites, but he should have, because the man's name itself is a pun. Who am I talking about? Edward Nygma. Enigma, the Riddler. So, shall we begin? Now, Riddler is one of the most outlandish, I'd even say flamboyant, over-the-top Batman villains. And for all of that, he still is also one of the less violent of Batman's rogues gallery, at least the big time heavy hitters rogues gallery. He doesn't have a body count like the Joker or Two-Face, but he does have his own crime count. I mean, obviously he's a villain. He's got to have bodies somewhere. So, but anyway, Mr. Nygma. His first appearance was in 140 of Detective Comics. Now, this was back in 1940, and the month was, let me check that because that I'm not sure on. It was 1948, and it was in October. A lovely October. Now, Riddler has been featured in all kinds of media throughout the years. Not just comic books. No, the man has been featured in video games, cartoons, movies, even the original Adam West Batman series had an appearance by the Riddler. And rightfully so. Because when we look at everything about him, he is a genius. I mean, he does have a genius level IQ. He's very intelligent. And come on. The riddles at the crime scene are worth it. He just likes that challenge, if you will. Playing with Batman. Seeing who's smarter. Now, he was created by Bill Finger and Dick Sprang. Now, in 2009, which I guess it's about, 11 years ago now, he was actually listed on IGN's best villains, of all time, across the boards, and he got number 59, which is pretty great when you think about it. And I mean, out of 100 villains of all time, of all villains, to get number 59, gotta be doing something right. Yes, this color was a custom mix because the purple I wanted disappeared. It's another mystery for another day. I'm assuming that the cats hit it, as they did my car keys. Little gremlins. Anyway. So, I mean, he's been on all sorts of things. He's crossed into other comic book, other Batman universe characters, stories, everything. He hasn't just been in just Batman. He's had a standalone series, everything. So let's get down to the beginning of it all with the Riddler. I will want to note that one of my favorite horror actors actually voiced the Riddler. Robert Englund. Freddy fucking Krueger himself voiced the Riddler at one point in time. So obviously, his name's the Riddler. He got that name because, one, his name is Edward Nygma. Write that down, you get Enigma. But it's stated that even as a child, he was obsessed with riddles and puzzles and that type of stuff. Like, hey, good for him. He had something he loved, and it was riddles and puzzles. Personally, I'm pretty awful at riddles. I like puzzles. Riddles, not so much. Not so good with those. But we're not talking about me. So his crimes are always over the top. But as a child, there was a contest in his school to solve a puzzle. Well, he wanted to do it, but he wanted to be the best at it. Get it done before anyone else. So, this is where his life of crime really kind of kicked off in a sense, because he decided that because he had to do this, he had to be the best, he had to get it done quicker and faster than anyone else, that he was going to break into his school. And he was going to sit there and work on this puzzle all night until he could have it done in under a minute. So he does this. I mean, he goes for it. He does not get caught. So little Nygma breaks into his school, sits down, and just does this puzzle over and over and over again until you can get it done in a minute. So, of course, next day comes, contest takes place, he wins, obviously. Not only does he win, but he gets it done extremely quick, and that's that. Well, learning this at a young age, that you are rewarded when you succeed, gets him thinking. Should know. I got a lot of praise for that. So he decides to use this as he grows up. He actually joins a carnival for a little bit, traveling around, scamming people out of money that way, getting rich that way. Like, alright, I'm smarter than all these people, I'm going to take their money. And, does that for a long while. But, inevitably, he finds himself bored. It's just getting too easy, it's the same thing over and over again. He decides he wants a challenge, he wants a change. So, he decides that he wants to go up against the brightest, the biggest, the baddest, in his mind, of Batman. So he goes back home to Gotham and sets up shop to take on Batman and Robin, feeling as though they're worthy of Batman is a worthy opponent, because he wants someone who will not only play his game, but will try to win. So with this, it begins. And as most things, they go back and forth, back and forth. Batman will catch him, he'll break out of Arkham, so on and so forth. But then, long Halloween. Now, I know I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Long Halloween is one of my favorite stories of all time. Like, honestly, I could do a whole video on just Long Halloween and the greatness that is Long Halloween. But that's what we're here for today, at least. So, Long Halloween. He is hired by Falcone to find out who Batman is. No, I'm kidding. He wasn't hired for that at all. Actually, he's supposed to find the identity of the holiday killer. Which, again, that's a whole big thing. And it would be better if I just did a video on the Long Halloween explaining who some of these characters are. My nose itches, forgive me. So Falcone hires him to do this one thing. Find the identity. And, it shouldn't be hard. It's Riddler, the man smart. Well, unfortunately, he doesn't do it. One thing leads to another. I'm going to avoid a lot of spoilers here. But one thing leads to another. Leads to Riddler getting shot by the holiday killer. Now, in the twist of things to come with Long Halloween and it being the holiday killer, turns out he wasn't really shot. He was, but not the way he thought. Nay. It was just an April Fool's prank by the holiday killer himself. Leaving Riddler still alive. Because April Fool's prank. So, the next series that followed that, the continuation of Long Halloween, is called Dark Victory. He does have a role in that. Ow, ow, ow. It's actually a larger role than his initial role in the Long Halloween. Because now he knows a little bit more about the character and, he's been shown a little bit more. So as Dark Victory progresses, it's where things get interesting. Because this is where Batman, that's right, Batman, knowing who the Riddler is, everything, comes to him for help. Yeah, Batman needs help from the Riddler to find the holiday killer, or at least help him ID who this is. Not even to catch him, just ID. Just needs a name for the holiday killer. So, that goes on. Next time we see Riddler, or the next big event, I should say, we see Riddler in, is in the When in Rome Catwoman series. So, as we know, Catwoman went to Rome under the belief that she was Falcone's estranged daughter. That she was, a Falcone. Falcone. Fight me on the pronunciation. I don't care. It's my channel. Anyway. Riddler goes with her under the pretenses of being a good friend. Now, obviously, there's more here. As most of the villains in Gotham have already figured out, Catwoman and Batman are more than friends. Riddler's true intention of going with Selina Kyle to Rome is to learn of Batman's true identity. who he really is. I mean, and that's smart. You want to know who your enemy is. You know your enemy's kind of involved with this person. Like, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to convince him I am here as a friend. So, inevitably, he, under this whole trip, just keeps kind of pushing. He doesn't get the answer. She never tells him that Batman's Bruce Wayne. The next time we see Riddler again, in another big event, is when he actually appeared in the Question series. And the Question and him are, quid pro quo, back and forth, the usual banter. Now, for those of you who don't know, Question himself ain't wrapped real well. He's a good guy, but he ain't wrapped real well. Which is fine. Who is nowadays? But in all the chaos and all the back and forth, poor Riddler. Poor Enigma. I mean, this man just goes through it, obviously. I mean, I get, okay, he is a villain, and you're not supposed to feel sorry for the villain, but I get it. Okay? I understand. I get it. Anyway. Well, with all this, with the Question, this back and forth, everything, Question actually breaks the Riddler. And I'm not talking a little bit of break. Talking a lot of break.